English Revolution has been used to describe two different events in English history. The first to be so called by Whig historians was the Glorious Revolution of 1688, whereby James II was replaced by William III and Mary II as monarch, and a constitutional monarchy was established. In the 20th century, however, Marxist historians introduced the use of the term English Revolution to describe the period of the English Civil Wars and Commonwealth period, in which Parliament challenged King Charles I's authority, engaged in civil conflict against his forces, and executed him in 1649. This was followed by a 10-year period of bourgeois republican government, the Commonwealth, before monarchy was restored in the shape of Charles's son, Charles II, in 1660. Whig theory. In the Glorious Revolution of 1688, James II was replaced by William III and Mary II as monarch, and a constitutional monarchy was established and was described by Whig historians as the English Revolution. This interpretation suggests that the English Revolution was the final act in the long process of reform and consolidation by Parliament to achieve a balanced constitutional monarchy in Britain, and laws were made that pointed towards freedom. Marxist theory. The Marxist view of the English Revolution suggests that the events of 1640 to 1660 in Britain was a bourgeois revolution in which the final section of English feudalism was destroyed by a bourgeois class and replaced with a state which reflected the wider establishment of agrarian capitalism. Such an analysis sees the English Revolution as pivotal in the transition from feudalism to capitalism, and from a feudal state to a capitalist state. In Britain, according to Marxist historian Christopher Hill, the Civil War was a class war, in which the despotism of Charles I was defended by the reactionary forces of the established church and conservative landlords, and on the other side stood the trading and industrial classes in town and countryside, the yeomen and progressive gentry, and wider masses of the population whenever they were able by free discussion to understand what the struggle was really about. Later developments of the Marxist view moved on from the theory of bourgeois revolution to suggest that the English Revolution anticipated the French Revolution and later revolutions in the field of popular administrative and economic gains. Along with the expansion of parliamentary power, the revolution broke down many of the old power relations in both rural and urban English society. The guild democracy movement of the period won its greatest successes among London's transport workers, most notably the Thames watermen, who democratized their company in 1641–43. And with the outbreak of the Civil War in 1642, rural communities began to seize timber and other resources on the estates of royalists, Catholics, the royal family and the church hierarchy. Some communities improved the conditions of tenure on such estates. The old status quo began a retrenchment after the end of the main civil war in 1646, and more especially after the restoration of monarchy in 1660. But some gains were long-term. The democratic element introduced in the Watermen's Company in 1642, for example, survived, with vicissitudes, until 1827. The Marxist view also developed a concept of a revolution within the revolution, which placed a greater deal of emphasis on the radical movements of the period who attempted to go further than Parliament in the aftermath of the Civil War. There were, we may oversimplify, two revolutions in mid-17th century England. The one which succeeded established the sacred rights of property, gave political power to the property, and removed all impediments to the triumph of the ideology of the men of property, the Protestant ethic. There was, however, another revolution which never happened, though from time to time it threatened. This might have established communal property, a far wider democracy in political and legal institutions, might have disestablished the state church and rejected the Protestant ethic. Brian Manning has claimed that the old ruling class came back with new ideas and new outlooks which were attuned to economic growth and expansion and facilitated in the long run the development of a fully capitalist economy. It would all have been very different if Charles I had not been obliged to summon that Parliament to meet at Westminster on November 3, 1640. The term English Revolution is also used by non-Marxists in the Victorian period to refer to 1642, as critic and writer Matthew Arnold in The Function of Criticism at the Present Time. Quote, criticism, the notion that the events of 1640 to 1660 constitute an English Revolution has been criticized by historians such as Austin Woolrich, who has pointed out that painstaking research in county after county, in local record offices and family archives, has revealed that the changes in the ownership of real estate, and hence in the composition of the governing class, were nothing like as great as used to be thought. Woolrich argues that the notion that the period constitutes an English Revolution not only ignores the lack of significant social change contained within the period, but also ignores the long-term trends of the early modern period which extend beyond this narrow time frame.